sure Stuart Murdoch and his compatriots in Bell and Sebastian might not have super appreciated that accompaniment, but bully they ain't here. I want the world to stop is what that's called. And the reason why I chose that said song, A, I love Bell and Sebastian. B, 1 John 2:15. Awesome John up in the piece. I am a deep, deep fan of Juan and his understanding of God firsthand, I suppose. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. I'm going to say that again, because that's some heavy business. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man, if anyone, love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. The love of the Father is not in him. Well, what? You cannot receive the fullness of God if you love the world? That's crazy! And yet, to me, it makes perfect sense. Having seen how the love of the world plays out in my life. Now, notice it doesn't say, doesn't say, go despise the world, despise the things of the world. It does not say, go thee hence and kick a puppy. It does not say, go thee hence and throw chemical refuse in the ocean. Because indeed, this is not so much talking about the exterior ocean, although I do love to speak about the exterior ocean and the trash heap within it as a blatant, literal metaphor of exactly how we are and who we are as a people and a species. That we are not all divine pieces of light running around yearning for hope and beauty. We're kind of selfish little, gross little, trashy beasts. That's just the way it is. And, but there lingers within each of us a wick that so yearns to be lit by divine light, by his divine light. And indeed, the light of the world, I think that was even in John, wasn't it? Christ says, I am the light of the world. And that does not mean he is the literal sun, but he is the S. He's not the S-U-N, but the S-O-N. Not the sun about which Copernicus bellowed, but the sun to whom Copernicus bowed. That's right, I just made that up. And he is an inner light. And God is an inner ocean. Oh my gosh, so many metaphors just screaming at you, and we're just trying to talk about the world. It does not say despise the world. It says love not the world. And I would like to add to that, because I feel like the way in which this whole thing is exhibited, or is warning me against in my life, is love God. So love God, love not the world. Fear God, fear not the world. Fear, totally, for me, is how I demonstrate how much I love with a capital L. And God should be the prow of your clipper ship, cutting through the waves of this life. Everything else, let it come in the wake. And you know what? It comes much easier than trying to bear through. There is no cleaner point than the point of mercy to cut through the dross of this world. The ways in which I exhibit this in negative is fear. And I'm just going to give you a personal example from my life, and maybe it'll be pseudo-metaphorically applicable to your own, or maybe literally. So, about a year ago, almost 2 years ago, I was like, my goal for this year is to get on SNL. That's going to be my focus for the whole of this year. I'll be taking improv classes, I'll be performing as much as I can, I'm going to start devising characters, shooting a satirical news show to show that I could write for a Weekend Update, do some sketches so I can show I write sketches, and do character stuff, and then even some probably too esoteric impressions to put together kick-ass SNL reel and do it. And I was talking to a friend and a trusted source. I was like, what do I do? This is what I'm trying to do. This is what I'm aiming towards. I'm cutting this together, but I don't know. It's still hard to even get there. You can be top of the pops, and they won't even look at you. He was like, Second City, Chicago, go there, train there, get on the main stage, or Groundlings in LA. And I'd heard this before, but having heard this now for the multiplest time, I was like, okay, it is the right thing to do. It's totally true. And actually, a friend of the same person, Taron Killiam, just got an SNL this year via main stage Groundlings. However, the love I have for the world immediately cast into me fear. And instead of going, okay, there's the advice, I'm going to go in the strength of God, fearing nothing, anytime, ever, for gosh sakes, I'll take this. I take this as good advice. I met with this person for good advice. And let me take this advice and go and leap into it and do the dang thing. Fear then, a la worry, it'll get all these logical things in your brain to tell you that it's real. And it's not even fear, so you don't feel fearful, you don't have a fight or flight instinct, but your brain starts telling you crazy-ish. So my brain started telling me, oh, Groundlings is really expensive, and it is. Man, Groundlings is super political. Everyone you've ever talked to who has gone there has been like, yeah, it's really kind of political and that kind of sucks, but, you know, whatever, it's a great place to work your craft and get discovered. And, oh, sometimes they repeat you a lot. And so you'd have to take a level 1, theoretically, Brendan. What if you were either not good at it, or what if you were too good, and then they were jealous, and then they make you repeat level 1 over and over again to try to break you. And then it would take 6 years for you to get on the main stage, and they'd be too old for SNL anyway. All these things stream through my mind in mere seconds. And if you're a human being out there, I know this has happened to you in some circumstance, where it's ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, and you don't feel fearful, you don't feel worried, your pulse isn't pounding. But I tell you, in these moments, you are in love with the world. You are, in some ways, potentially even fearful of your own success for some crazy reason. But in a way, you are fearful of the love of the world. You are fearful that you will bring your bestness to the world, and it will tear it asunder, it will not recognize it. Or in a way, you've just merely placed anything in this world on enough of a pedestal as to make you do anything but, oh, I can approach that thing. And listen, we've designed our whole world to be thus, you know, with presidents and prime ministers and kings and celebrities and whatever. We all do this because and it's wrong. Wrong. It's evil. It's an evil. It is literally an affliction to our very souls to do so and to elevate people to various levels. There are people who know things, who have certain knowledge. There's nothing wrong with being taught. Teach and learn. Everyone should be teaching and learning constantly. I'm trying to do that now, both at the same time. Please help me learn. Holler back about your own ways in which fear does so. But again, let me just jump back to the other metaphor, all the tangle metaphors I'm throwing at you. Prow. When God is not an all-consuming love that makes all other love look like dross, to use that word again, in comparison, it just simply does not work. And God's not even interested in that. God's interested in a relationship with your soul, with the all-consuming, eternal fullness of you. And he wants you to experience the fullness of him. God's kind of an all-or-nothing guy. He's not really a guy. He's an all-or-nothing God. And he's like, I want all of you. I want all of you or none of you. Because what would be interesting besides? Are not the best relationships in our life echoes of that self-same thing? And don't we yearn sometimes? I know I do, for that self-same thing in relationships with people. You always get jealous, right, when your bestie has a bestie? That's not you. So I entreat you today to seek and to find the prow of your clipper ship, to seek and to find fearing God only, loving God only. Fear nothing else and love nothing else. Peace be unto you. Amen and Selah.